Today is April 24th, 2026. 1 year ago today, Summit Mall, the Muslim group was up there, the Texas group, walking around, ladies in hijabs, the Middle Eastern men, saying stuff. One guy said real loud in the mall, "You tell that guy, Will, that was to pull off a scam here, that to join us, that the whole thing's ruined because that other Michelle told on that the doctor from before was not one of hers. He works for them and they had lied. He was one of her doctors and she doesn't know who he is. You tell him we said take care of her for that. And this whole thing's ruined." They started threatening that little girl. 1 year ago today, the Texas group, the Muslims, announced this whole thing was a scam for that Will guy to join them. See, that's where people were even complaining yesterday that no one, that guy Will said he was showing off. He was going to join a gang that nobody could ever join. And he did all those things to her to prove he could join them. Nobody's thought it was funny. He was going to marry that one girl. With her being part of that drug cartel and those human traffickers. And that she's a prostitute for them. Nobody thought it was funny. He was paying that girl when she was heavy and then for her to lose weight and everything else. And he's been paying her and he was supposed to pay her and they were supposed to be getting married. Nobody thought it was funny. She was paying a prostitute to marry him. He probably does have syphilis, where it's affecting his brain why he had all those things done to her. And then marrying a prostitute. Then trying to get an ISIS. He probably does have syphilis because he doesn't make any sense. No, he don't. That or he has AIDS. There's something wrong with him. Delusional. See, then as a victim, a human trafficking victim that was almost murdered, I want to know, why did anybody help out? Why did you help out? You cost thousands of lives. Why would you help out? That's where other people yesterday, nobody thought about this being a terrorist act. Why didn't you? People are selling and killing other U.S. citizens. That's terrorism. They're selling government technology, drug beating, raping people, and selling videos of it, and you didn't find that a terrorist act? Then they're telling you they're trying to extort money from the U.S. government, and you didn't find that a terrorist act? Where didn't you? Why would you participate? See, and these people with kids that say stuff, I think their kids should be taken from them. You want to support and back people killing U.S. women and children. And people got sold and butchered were the other human traffickers that helped participate in this, that got arrested. They lost their kids. The one guy up in Hartville adopted one of the human traffickers' kids. It was a young girl, a little 18-month-old baby. That mother's not getting out for life. So if you support them killing women and U.S. children, I think they should take your kids because you're a danger to children. You're a danger to society. Why would you back that? See, that's why did people help out? When this whole thing was a scam for that Will guy to join ISIS. And it was a debt from Katie's family member that owed a bunch of drug dealers money. That's why that church helped out. And the people they hired, the one guy, used this as a scam to join ISIS. Trying to prove he was worthy. Oh, I'll tell you what, that prostitute he joins ISIS, they'll stone her. They don't put up with prostitutes. That's why they have their women covered from head to toe. Hmm? The big hijabs, and you only see like their eyes. Why do you think they have them covered? They don't put up with prostitutes. They kill prostitutes. Why would you want this woman that you're having to buy, where the people in the cartel said nobody thought it was funny or have to pay a fat prostitute to date you? She was part of George Peters group from Florida, riding with the big truck guys. That were saying they were selling and U.S. citizens, women and children. They were human trafficking them. Judge Peters Group, the big truck guys that were known for human trafficking people and grabbing them and selling them. She rode with them to help grab and sell people. That's how not funny this is. Do you understand? Seen under police surveillance. Why would people help people kill other people, let alone little kids? Why? I'd like that answer. Why would you? See, that's where people laughed at me. They thought it was funny. They bashed my skull in. Why did you find it funny? Because Dave's girlfriend at the time, her dad and her owed some big drug dealers money, so they ran a con on the government trying to steal money from them. Had a bunch of church people make up lies. Go in there, put on a skit for the FBI. Trying to get them to open a case and they could steal the case's money, and some rich guy is trying to prove that he can steal money from the government and pull a con. So he can join ISIS, show how big and bad he is. He can join a Muslim group. That's killing and selling U.S. citizens. My God. What are people doing? See, that's where I wrote up on Facebook, where the other day somebody said something stupid. Now I want you to listen to this. This is how retard, and that's where I go. Oh, great retard. Oh, great retard, we bow before you. You are the king and God of retards. You are the retard God. These people saying that they can do all this and they have rights to? No, you don't. You don't have the right to break in somebody's home, set up button cameras. You don't have the right to Photoshop shower scenes of washing yourself in your perverted little rapist tapes. You don't have the right to have a bunch of drug dealers break in some lady's home. She don't even know you or them, and as she walks by a room, stab her with a hypnotic drug. And well, it takes 45 seconds, and then she's gone. They drug her up and tell her to say something stupid, then beat and rape her. And she don't know what happened to her when she comes out of it and doesn't understand why she has bruises and anything. Nothing. What happened to her. And we're little rapist tapes. You think you're funny, drugging people up and telling them to say stuff. Where did anybody find that funny? And then some fake dirty doctor breaking HIPAA? It's absurd and Looney Tune. Oh, but we can get money. We have the right to rape her. You don't have the right to rape anybody. You don't have a right in nobody's home. We have the right to go on. No, you didn't. See, there's a point. No, you didn't. See, no, you didn't. See, it comes down to every time they talk, just tell them no. You don't want to hear their fucking bullshit. That's all it is they're bullshitting you. Bullshitting you. Bullshitting you. I have 2 stress sits and they keep getting bigger and bigger. Pop them, they keep getting bigger and bigger. I have enough stress. Okay. March 27th, 25, 1 o'clock after midnight, an agent is outside my work talking real loud. That the other Michelle, the real pretty Michelle, the one that's telling on him, he had broke up with her when she confessed that the doctor from before was not one of hers, works for them, and they had lied that he was one of her doctors. She actually don't know who he is. And when they bashed in my head, they tried to kill me or leave me incompetent at work. He got it out of my ex-husband that a girlfriend from before me made him marry me so that he could get a job at my dad's factory. She'd have free insurance to use. The lady running up bills in my name. Back then, you didn't have to show ID. You just, if you forgot your medical card, you call it in later. They took you for who you were. That's how people used to have surgeries and everything else on somebody else's insurance. Okay? Identity theft was horrible back then. Wasn't random, was Dave's girlfriend. That his girlfriend from before me made him marry me so he could get a job at my dad's factory, and she'd have free insurance to use, and they he could give her extra money, and he had got it out of that family. That why on earth would you say it offended you when she had nothing to do with your kid's death, and that minister just calling her a faker 6 months later? And you're saying, telling people offend you. Said they lied. Everybody lied about everything on that office. They made it all up for them to get away with it. Didn't even concern them. Lisa's father killed their kid. Of course it didn't concern them, and it was 6 months later. Okay? Then you go March 20th, 26th, an investigator saying it loud in Walmart West Task, Fight Electronics. Okay? Now they had confessed to an FBI agent. Now, I want you to think, this is how retarded these people are, and absolutely retarded they are. I want you to embrace how... Okay, now they confessed they're lying about everything. Everybody was lying about everything. Okay, this whole thing's, they were lying to get away with this. Okay, now I want you to think about the retards that showed up and said this. Lisa said, even though they confessed to an FBI agent, that, what? They made everything up in that office, and they were all lying about everything. Okay, no, already said everything's a lie. They confessed and they told an FBI agent. Okay. Oh. So now think of the next comment. Well, she said they're done getting even with her. Now, they already said they were lying. For her run around telling everyone it was a miracle she got healed. Now, what did they just say? They made everything up. They were lying about everything. So why are you repeating a lie, you fucking dumbass? You're a fucking retard. She just told you they made that up. They were lying about everything. They made that whole thing up. Because it never happened. You know, right after I got well, I told you after 9 months of struggling to get well. Strange had me stand and testify. You know what I said to him? I only testified once. 03. Once. Wanted to thank God for helping me get well. Giving me the strength. I was grateful that I was still alive and had a life to live. And I'd be eternally grateful. That I loved everyone there and for their encouragement over the years of me being sick and for being there for me. And I had always appreciated it. Strange wanted me to testify more, and I wouldn't do it. Because he wasn't going to capitalize on me being sick and having to go through that horrible situation of all those surgeries and medical malpractice in 9 months of slowly getting well. It was my personal pain. He wasn't going to capitalize on it. And then when he thought I was following Tim and Katie to twist it around into a lie that I was faking through 4 or 5 years, and it was a medical malpractice and medication errors, almost killed me, and it took me 9 months to get well. I was struggling hard. And him calling me a faker and pushing my kid to suicide, trying to get rid of me real quick because he thought I was following his son in adultery. It was my sister following her husband. It became more of a sense of hurt and pain. So, did we hardly ever talk about me getting well? hardly. Or that part of my life. It was a source of pain. Hmm? So where they told you, you fucking retarded dumbass bitches, and realize how big a fool you are saying that. She just told you. They told the FBI they lied about everything. What part didn't you understand, you fucking morons? That they said they were lying about everything. So where they you repeated another fucking lie. Oh, she's running around telling everybody God healed her. That was a lie too. I hadn't been part of Lighthouse since 2003. Visited twice in 2011 when people were making up stuff that I hadn't seen in years, hoping someone would tell me. Hmm? Hmm? And they didn't, and I didn't go back, and Dave quit his church not long after that, and we went up to Pamers. I had nothing to do with that church. See, that's where, what part of, they all were lying about everything to get away with this. Then you repeat another lie. Why would you get mad at somebody if you're just lying on them? See, do you realize how stupid and a big retard you look? You look like a retard. You just got done saying they made everything up and were lying. Then you repeat another lie. That never happened. See, that's where, it is quite miraculous that you take me almost dying. 2002, where I had already had years before that, 6 to 10 surgeries, stomach, and then my back. I had major kidney surgery. My muscles locked up, and I was in so much pain. I went to a bunch of crackpots. My muscles are locked tight. They actually clenched. And then they'd even clench tighter and raise up through the thing. And my blood vessels would break and blood would flow down my stomach and leg. And it was excruciating. I'd scream and I couldn't breathe until it relaxed down to just being tense. And the doctors gave me a bunch of false diagnoses, gave me a bunch of wrong meds. My whole body swelled up. I had seizures. I had heart attacks, thyroid, adrenal gland shut down. I had to go to orthopedic surgeons that were draining my knees. My knees were popping out of place because of the massive body swelling. And they're giving me so many drugs I don't need. They're almost killing me. I almost died. And they're lying so bad they even said I had brain tumors. And it's them killing me with the wrong meds. If I sued them, I would have been a millionaire. They'd still be in jail for attempted murder. See, that's where, and it took my community health to tell on them that those doctors were known for lying, falsely diagnosing people and ripping them off and making them sick. And the only thing wrong with me was my muscles locked up from all those surgeries. To get off the medication, it's the medication doing it. Get an attorney and sue them. They'll represent me in court. They almost killed me by defrauding me and ripping me off. And turn them over to the state to pull their license. Encouraged Dave and I to sue him for years. It's documented fraud, medical malpractice, and medication errors. And I went to Dr. Eli, and he agreed, and he got me on fentanyl patches. He said, your muscles are clenched, and the only way to get them to relax is to move them. As you move them, blood flow gets pushed into them. And then as blood flow gets pushed into them, the relax, and then you can build new muscle tissue. And it took me 9 months of slowly get well. Now, what is miraculous is all my thyroid, my adrenal gland, it started working again. Even investigators said, I went to doctors, they said she is so very fortunate with all the damage they were doing that it wasn't permanent. By the grace of God. Heart attack stopped, seizure stopped. And over 9 months learning to walk on numb feet. See, that's where these great retards of all kinds showed up, of how retarded they are and how stupid they are. I can go on Google and I can find the answer for that. I have where one of the treatments they did to me, they did like 30 injections of steroids in my back my neck, trying to get the lock muscles to relax. That's excruciating. Do you know what that causes? Degenerative joint disease. Guess what I got in my knees? Degenerative joint disease. And where the massive body swelling would push those knees, my knees would just pop out anyways. And they started doing that, and then the massive swelling, they just slide right out of place. And like the orthopedic doctor said, on most people, I would just go ahead and do knee replacements. He said, but you have so much wrong with you. And then what if that arthritis spreads to your regular bones? He said, and then it'll snap your legs, and then you'll be lame the rest of your life. He said the easiest and the safest fix is to put braces, big enough braces that will hold your legs straight. And as they hold your legs straight, those knees will not be able to go out of place. He said, I like to give you a walker to walk with so you don't fall. I said, I want canes so that I can have the feeling of walking free. He said, we can try canes, but if you fall, you're getting a walker. He said, because I'll tell you what, he said, because you have to be safe and secure so you don't get hurt. And he said, but that's the easiest and the safest fix. And as you build the muscle tissue and the tendons, it'll help hold your knees. And then when you get strong enough, you will not need the braces and canes. But you'll always have to get out walking and exercise to keep those muscles and tendons built up to hold your knees in place. Or they will degrade again and you'll lose, your legs will start sliding out of place again. So I would always go out and walk all the time. Walk, 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 exercise something. Okay? Trying to keep them built up. It was nothing for Dave and I to do a 2-mile walk a couple times a week. Get the idea. I never wanted to be sick again. And it took me 9 months. Now, right on Google, if you have a lot of surgeries, you have a lot of swelling, you have degenerative joint disease, can it push your legs out of place for a while and make it impossible to walk, but it is able to recover it with work? I said, yes, definitely. You can learn to re-walk again. It'll be very difficult, but achievable. And the walking and the keeping up the muscle tone does keep your knees in place. Some idiot girls, I heard them talking. See, we just proved God didn't heal her. It's by the grace of God am I still here. By the grace of God, those doctors didn't heal me. Kill me back then. By the grace of God did I get well. And the endurance and the strength He helped me to live through it. See, there's the problem of the thing of it is, I don't have a problem with God. I am fine with my Maker. I don't have a problem with Him. You know who has a problem with? You know who has a problem with God? Ron. Do you know Ron stood up at Blaylock's? Had a microphone. I hate God for taking the thing I love the most. I hate Him. As he yelled it out. I hate Him. Not demeaning my other children, but I hate Him for taking what I love the most. Did God take His child? No. Who took His child? Well, His father-in-law. See, either Strange drugged him, and that's why he was driving erratically, or he was showing off. And it was Phil's fault. Speeding at a high rate of speed, not stopping at a stop sign and blowing right into a semi and killing himself and their son. Was it God? Was it me? No, I wasn't even there. They had nothing to do with the horror I was living through. And I had nothing to do with theirs. And them taking their family tragedy and where they hate God and their hatred towards the Almighty God of creation and they hate him. Don't you take your hate towards God out on me, because I am grateful for the Almighty God that spared my life and gave me the strength to live through and to persevere. Faith without works is dead. And like they said, even doctors, she is so very fortunate, because most of the time when doctors make that kind of big medical mistakes and give people the wrong medicines like that, they damage them forever. It's by the grace of God. Even investigators, it is miraculous that she got well after what those doctors did to her. I know, by the grace of the Almighty God. And it's not okay for them to take their hate and anger towards God, the God of creation, and because somebody else is grateful for what life they have, for them to try to snatch it away and take their hate and anger towards the Almighty God, the God of creation, and somebody else is just grateful for what little they have, that they would harm them to show how evil and demon possessed they are. When you realize they're the ones with the problem with God, not me. I am grateful. I am very grateful for the life I have. My life has been destroyed because of pure evil. And people thinking they can abuse somebody because they're weaker. See, I got into an argument with Carl this morning again. Our neighbor, and this evilness is like running rampant in this area. Pure evil. He had said that we could stay with him when we first moved out our mobile home. He'd protect Carl. Then I couldn't get Carl to leave here. Move on. I couldn't get him to go rent another mobile home, go rent an apartment or a home, because he wouldn't leave, because that guy told him. He protected him. I said, there's something wrong with him. I can tell. We need to get out of here. I ended up renting a dumpy apartment. We had to put a lot of money in just to clean up to live in it. A ton of money, because it was so dirty and disgusting. I mean, it smelled so bad. It was gross. You couldn't even use appliances. They were so disgusting. I even had to buy new appliances to use. It was so disgusting here. It's actually nice and it's decent now. But it took a lot of money to fix it up. Because he wouldn't leave. Because he thought that man was protecting him. Do you know what that evil man did? He called up to tell me that he was making a fool out of Carl. He was making fun of him, sitting around laughing that he was supposed to be protecting him, when all he was doing was mocking him and making a fool out of him. Carl's 80. And to hurt my husband like that. I started yelling at him. And how he thought he was the biggest fool on earth and all this other stuff. And I started yelling at him. And I hung up. Well, he came over beating on the door, and Carl went to answer the door while I was on the phone talking to my son. And I yelled at Carl, you don't let him in, because he was out being that evil. You don't know if he'd hurt us. Because he's not right in his head talking to you like that. I said, and then I found out today, when he was here, we handed him some stuff. I said, you don't give that man a dime. You hear me? This abuse disorder and victim disorder ends. It ends. There's something called Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm. Where people that are kidnapped or abused make themselves feel like they love the person or in love with the person that is abusing them or kidnapped them. It's how they survive. And I told him, I said, I have found out since we got married that how his second wife, they beat on him, sexually abused him. He lived in horror for 25 years of these people beating on him. He's only 5'3", weighed 130 pounds, big 6-foot people beating the hell out. So this cowering to people of, here, you beat me, just take it and go. It's over. I told him I was going to make a strong, independent woman out of him before he dies. He chuckles. I said, I will make a strong, independent woman out of you before you die. I said, we don't take this from nobody. People that come down to the point that they're just making a fool out of you by acting like they're helping you, they're not allowed in our home no more. We have nothing to do with them. The abuse of people abusing you. I was abused by my ex-husband. I loved him with all my heart. We were married 33 years. I found out my whole marriage was a scam. He had been cheating on me, and my whole marriage was a scam from him and another girlfriend. Ran up bills, stuck me with him, thought he was a smartass, and I didn't know about her. And I said, there were so many times he would beat on me and I wouldn't know why. And then he'd try to say, well, you shouldn't have done this or you shouldn't have done that. Well, I'm black and blue or bloody. And then try to blame it on me, then try to do the crying thing, I'm sorry. And then you think, well, maybe he didn't mean it. Yes, he did. He meant it 100 times more. He had already demeaned me down till I wasn't human, and they were able to beat me because he has abusive disorder. And I said, then I try to make excuses. Oh, you'll teach him what real love is. Maybe somebody didn't love him enough as a child. Maybe someone didn't love him in life, and he doesn't know what real love is. That it's kindness, it's goodness. You show him by the way you treat him how good and kind you are. Well, they know how good and kind you are, and that's what they use against you. That you are good and kind, and you won't retaliate. They use it against you abusers. Do you know how many beatings I took and I forgave him for? I forgave him for beating me over 30 years. And until he decided he was going to kill me and my children and my grandchildren. And he was the one that would have other men break in to drug me, to frame me, to have me being raped under drugs by strange men for his entertainment and his girlfriends. Thinking he's a smart ass. And me come out of it and never see or talk to anybody and think it is funny and photoshopped and framed. And his little rapist tapes by some rapist he hired. And then tried to have me murdered. And he thought he was so great he could steal from the government too. But you know what I mean? He demeaned me down to something he could just murder for entertainment. Where I was willing to die to save my children. Where it's like, I'll kill everything you ever loved in life. And it's like, over my dead body. Over my dead body, will you kill my children or my grandchildren? You want to go through me? You can go through me. You'll get caught. Went around, started taping my own witnesses. Thinking if I die, at least they'll have more evidence. But they'll get stopped before he gets to them. That's where the investigators that work my case, Karen almost died to save children. It's ridiculous for anyone to ever insult her. She almost died to save everyone. The investigators and agents that work Karen around the house, Karen's well. You cannot disrespect me in front of them. I had men show up the other day. Look away. We always knew you were innocent. We always knew. We know what you lived through helping. And I looked away. I was tortured. I was raped. I was human trafficked. My skull bashed in. I was beaten in my stomach down. They almost ruptured my intestines. My rib cage is damaged, my shoulder. I faced 6 stalkers, drugged till I lost 70 pounds, induced vomiting till my stomach shifted out of my ribs. I got lifelong injuries helping the FBI. I tried to save my family, and I was left in hell because it was over my dead body. You killed my children because we're bastards. Bastards. These monsters from hell that to meet you down, to not subhuman, that they can just kill or have you abused. When they start beating on you, they have already made you subhuman, because if you were human, they wouldn't have hit you. You are nothing but an animal or a dog that they can abuse at their pleasure. Or if you were human, it would be wrong. And they will kill you or destroy you for the light you leave. They can't let you be happy. They can't let you be successful. They can't let you have anything. Because they choose to be your God over you of life and death. For my ex-husband thought he was God. And he chose when I lived or died. For Karen, you don't realize you die at my choosing. No, I don't. And realize I'll kill everything you ever loved in life, except for my dead body. Agent John, now that you know everything, everything's done. This whole thing was scams to steal from the FBI. For one guy to try to join ISIS, showing off that he could do all these crimes, and join a terrorist group. And the church was trying to steal money for Katie's family. Remember Michelle Day's girlfriend? Her and her family's drug debt. They made everything up and how they framed. Can I have my money now? I need a new name for me and Carl. New social. And we need a safer place to live. You know, we have different names. We don't live in the same social group. So, yeah. I won't have to worry about them ever finding us. Can I have my money now? We all know you don't have the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. And that it's a federal crime and you can't tell anybody. They, no one can help you. If you say anything, you can't get your money. If you don't say anything, if you say something, those are federal crimes of blackmail, extortion, and tampering with a witness. A whole bunch more. I like my money. Please. Medical cards. I have a lot of workers' comp claims. A letter of thank you would be nice. Most people win awards. I don't want an award. I want a letter of thank you. I'm tired. I'm very tired. But, like I said, I've been trying to teach Carl where he just would cower and let people take from him. That when people abuse you, you just get rid of them out of your life. You don't put up with that shit. They don't deserve your kindness. They don't deserve you to be good to them. You have to learn to stand up and reach down inside yourself and pull it out. The strength. No more. No more. I told him I'd make him a strong, independent woman before he dies. He said, yeah, you'd probably put a wig and a dress on me too. Probably. If I had to. I'm just joking. But can I have my money now?
Because you did know this whole thing was for that Will guy to join ISIS. And where back in 23 they were talking about him having problems with prostitutes. The cartel about that guy doing this, that he was paying for prostitutes and he had a problem with prostitutes. And then the different kinds of prostitutes that he was having problems with. And that he was stealing money to pay for prostitutes. And they already said this whole thing was to scam the FBI, and it was the guy, that Will guy's initiation in the Texas group, being Muslims, and we all work for the King from Texas. We are his men. Dave hired us. He's a drug lord. You look him up. He's U.S. military Iraqi translator. Went into the dark web malware final king. The ladies in hijabs, full black gowns, Middle Eastern men walking around saying stuff, and they're announcing they're human traffickers, drug dealers, are selling people. People are disappearing. Um, it, oh, and everything's we have the right. We have to do this. We this. The Muslim group from Iraq that everything's a we is ISIS. It was ISIS. It was a terrorist act here. You knew that, right? Some guy said he already knew that. Was that? Well, Officer Mark called him a fucking Iraqi terrorist that was doing it. So I'm sure you did know that. Can I have my money now? Please. I'm tired. I am so tired. And nobody else needs to talk stupid to me over made up lies. People, and stop looking like retards. Stop looking like retards. Repeating lies that were already confirmed and people admitting they lied to get away with this. Do you know how many thousands of people were sold here over the last few years? How many people died, women and children, because of the foolishness of people going along with this like it was a TV show? It was reality and people are dying. Would you want it to happen to your family? I'm going to upload this.